Hi, my name is Billy Perkins, and I have a speech entitled "Submitting Was My Freedom." In my search for myself, I discovered truth. In the search for truth, I discovered love. In the search for love, I discovered God. And in God, I find everything. QuotesJunkie.com, 2014. I could not find my everything in God until Job 22 and 21 really sunk in my heart. Submit to God, and you will have peace, and these things will go well for you. I have learned that as a young man, when one submits to God, one will have true joy. However, some tragic events in my life was used by the enemy to keep me from saying yes to God and live a defeated life. Even though as a child I was forced to attend church what seemed like 7 days a week, I didn't know Him. Instead, I knew all the roles I was forced to take on. When I was 5 years old, my father was murdered while on the job as an army guard. My world would never be the same as my mother struggled to provide for 6. When I was 8 years old, my older sister had her first child, and my responsibility grew big time. I remember hearing my mother cry out to God when she thought everyone was asleep. I was determined to help her and find a job. I began my first business of fixing bikes for my friends in the neighborhood. I was able to hold off needing a true resolution until experiencing another painful event in my young adult. My second oldest sister was murdered by her husband in Texas while I was yet still living in Washington. Yes, I blame God. Despite this, the calling that God had on my life was crazy strong. Despite me running like a jackrabbit from Him, the more I ran, the more I drank, and the more He told me He loved me and I couldn't escape Him. I remember the night God told me, go home to Texas from Washington. And I told Him, nope, and no way. No way. As I drank a half a gallon of apricot brandy and 24 bottles of beer just to drown the voice of God away from me. See, I call myself comfortable with my life of pain, not knowing that God could remove the pain when we submit to Him. God's calling to move was the beginning of my journey into adulthood, in which I would know peace in my soul and learn about His great mercy and patience, as in Lamentation 3:22 through 23 tells us. Even though I submitted to God in this area, I left Spokane angry, hurt, and no job with little money. 2 years later, I found myself working in armed security at a city parking lot and had to help a woman and her pastor to change a flat tire. Things happened so fast. Before I knew it, I was saying the sinner prayer, and I was saved on the parking lot. God slowly changed my habits from smoking cigars, tobacco pipes, chewing tobacco, and the alcohol that I love didn't taste the same no more. Now I'm happy married and a pastor. Things I would have never imagined until I submit all to Him. When you submit to God, God now has permission to have His divine way in your life. I have learned that not only through submission can you truly deal with your past, but also the pain and joy of the present and the unknown of the future. Addiction and your earthly wisdom will not do it. What are the areas in your life that you are not completely saying, God, I trust you more than I trust myself? Make a list of your worries, sins, and addictions and turn it into a surrender list. Because truly, I can say submission is freedom.